Do you feel like you sometimes don't completely empty your bladder and then you have to go back and finish peeing again? Well, today we're going to dive into some techniques to make sure you're completely emptying your bladder without straining and pushing and having to go back. I'm Dr. Alex Hill, your physical therapist for everything pelvic health, and I'm here to help you with your bladder. Let's get into it. So first, it's important to understand how your bladder actually works. So as the bladder gets filled with urine, it starts to get stretched. Once it's full, then it sends a signal all the way up to the brain to let the brain know it's time to go to the bathroom. Once you get to the bathroom, you sit on the toilet, then the bladder contracts, and then the muscles around the urethra and the pelvic floor muscles will relax and allow the urine to come out. Once the bladder is emptied, then it tells your brain, all right, I'm empty. But sometimes even after you finish going to the bathroom, you might still feel the urge to go back and go again. So here are the more common reasons why you aren't completely emptying your bladder. So these are your pelvic floor muscles. These are the muscles that need to relax to allow the urine to come out. If these muscles aren't relaxing or if they're not coordinated, then it can make it difficult to fully empty the bladder. This means that urine is left behind in the bladder, leading to that lingering sensation of needing to go to the bathroom. Now, it is normal for up to 80 to 100 milliliters of urine to be left in the bladder, but if you have more than that, or if this is a constant issue, you definitely want to get that checked out. Another reason why you might not be completely emptying your bladder is if you have a prolapse. A pelvic organ prolapse is when the bladder, the uterus, or the rectum start to drop down into the vaginal walls. If the bladder's dropping down, that position can make it difficult to completely empty. Additionally, if you have the rectum that's starting to fall forward and you have constipation as well, that can also be giving a lot of pressure onto the bladder and also make it difficult to empty your bladder. Third is you're rushing it. So remember, for the bladder to completely empty, the bladder muscle contracts and the sphincters and the pelvic floor muscles open and relax to allow that urine to come out of the urethra. So if you're a power peer and you're pushing and rushing just to get on with your day, this can also cause you to not completely empty or feel like you still need to completely empty. If you are chronically not emptying your bladder fully, this can lead to issues like dribble and incontinence, overstretching your bladder, which then makes it even more difficult to empty. And you can also have an increased risk of UTIs or bladder infections if you're not emptying. So we talked about the why this happens. Let's talk about how do we fix it. So to help make sure that you're emptying your bladder, try these techniques. First, always sit on the toilet. Don't hover. And yes, that means even in public. If you're hovering, your pelvic floor muscles are turned on and they can't relax to let you completely empty your bladder. So even if you don't want to sit on the toilet in public, just use some toilet paper, the seat protector, put that on the toilet seat, sit down and let your muscles relax. Next up is calming down. So once you're actually sitting on the toilet, you want to relax your body, especially those pelvic floor muscles, and give yourself time to go to the bathroom without rushing. If you have a hard time relaxing, especially in public bathrooms, try listening to water sounds in your headphones or hold your phone close to your ear. Sometimes the sound of running water can help with relaxing and stimulate the bladder to go to the bathroom. Next up is consider your position. So sometimes it might help to lean slightly forward to help you empty your bladder. You can also try gently rocking back and forth or side to side to help yourself finish peeing. Then once you finish going to the bathroom, you can stand up, kind of shift around, and then sit back down to finish emptying. When you go pee, you stand up and then you kind of sit back down. That's called double voiding. That just means that you're going to the bathroom right after you go. My next tip for you is doing timed voiding. That means paying attention to when you're going to the bathroom. Ideally, if you're getting enough fluid intake, that means water, not a bunch of coffee, tea, soda, then that means that you're going to be going to the bathroom ideally every 2 to 4 hours. By paying attention to how often you go, that's going to help retrain your bladder to empty more completely and reduce that sensation of urgency because you've allowed the bladder to completely fill, recoil and completely empty. All right, my last tip for you is to make sure you're drinking water throughout the day to make sure that you're staying hydrated and the bladder is filling appropriately. You want to avoid drinking a lot of water all at once because that can cause urgency. So just sip it throughout the day. If you're consistently having issues with feeling like you're not completely emptying or you have concerns about your bladder health, it's essential that you consult a healthcare professional. They can provide personalized advice and rule out anything else that might be underlying that's causing these issues. Remember, achieving a complete bladder emptying experience can take some time and practice. Incorporating these tips into your routine, you can promote better bladder health and say bye-bye to that lingering sensation of urgency. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more pelvic health tips and like this video if you found it helpful.